Users of the dark web, what do you use it for? I've seen far worse things on Reddit than I have using Tor. About 10 years ago, a friend of mine used it to buy 4 grams of cocaine. Cost him about 5 bitcoins. Bitcoins were worth about $50 at the time. Light web hurts my eyes. Dark is better at night, too. Not myself, but some people with important jobs use the dark web to protect their work online, that way they don't leave track on the normal internet. In my younger and dumber days, I used it to buy substances off the Silk Road. The DIA actually has several of my bitcoins. I've thought about asking for them back, but I'm not sure how to broach the subject. Nice try, FBI. I don't think people who use the dark web would comment in this post tbh. What uncommon thing do you find attractive? When girls put sunglasses on their head and it holds their hair back a little bit. Instant death for me. People who just stop using their phones when you start a conversation with them. Crooked smiles. When men use their professional, or ordering food, voice, you know the one. Women who are interested in me. IDK how to word it without sounding rude or if this makes sense to other people. But people that aren't perfectly good looking. Celebrities, for example, I can agree that they are attractive, but I am not attracted to them. I like seeing people that look human. I love people's flaws. When someone says, you know what? You're right, on the internet. One of the things that made me fall in love with my partner is how when she's got her nose in a book, the world could be on fire and she wouldn't notice. 16 years and 500 books later, we're halfway to owning our own library. Low body count. Hikers of Reddit. What's the weirdest, scariest thing you found or seen during a hike? On a backpacking trip in the Sierra Mountains in California, my buddy forgot to put his toothpaste in the bear bag, which is a bag you put all food and aromatic items in to hang from a tree branch at night so the bears won't eat it. At about 2 a.m., we hear him yelling and get up to find a huge black bear on top of him in his tent trying to get at the toothpaste. The rest of us had to bang pans and throw rocks to get the bear to leave him alone. Hiking in Vermont. Saw a bright red shirt hanging in a tree off the trail, so I went to check it out. Saw a couple of freshly dug graves and a few really old headstones. Reported it. Turns out it was someone stealing headstones from a local graveyard and relocating them. Don't know if they were stealing the bodies, too. My wife and I were on our honeymoon. We were on an island in Thailand, and about 2 hours into a jungle hike. In the middle of nowhere, we hear bloody curdling screams of desperation. My first thoughts were someone had fallen and broken their leg or something and we need to help them. Eventually, we get to this person who was hysterics after being lost in this jungle for almost a full day. It turned out he lives less than a mile from us back in the UK and works for my best friend. When I die, who will tell my online friends? Your ghost can contact them. Put me in your will, I can tell everyone for you. A lot of people trust their family enough to give them their passwords or at least have a paper somewhere they can get to with the important passwords. Also, sometimes people that die know they are going to die ahead of time, so they make sure someone has their passwords. Most online things have a setting where if you have no activity for 3 months, full account access is given to someone you name. 3 months after I'm dead, my sister will get my Gmail accounts and from there she can reset basically any password. I think Facebook has something like this, but I don't use it, so don't know what it's called. I thought this too. What food do most people think is healthy but is actually unhealthy? Naked smoothies or juices and flavored yogurt. Some people think gluten-free means healthy. Not automatically, it doesn't. This is not about people who must follow a gluten-free diet. Juice. Most packaged juices you get are super high in sugar. I'm shocked how many moms think Nutella is better than peanut butter. Anything natural doesn't immediately mean healthy. At least in the EU, when a product is natural, it doesn't need to go through all the testing that is required for other products. This doesn't mean that the product is safe, as many natural products can be harmful. Granola bars. They're chocolate, oats and sugar for the most part. Cereal. Anything labeled fat-free. Crazy how many people think fat is bad for you. Salads with all of the dressings and toppings. Ketchup. Yeah, I get it comes from tomatoes, which are healthy, but ketchup is packed with sugar. Diet or zero-calorie sodas. What modern trend do you absolutely hate? News agencies writing articles about all these people are saying X, when it's just a few random people on Twitter, and generally the trend of amplifying fringe theories, beliefs, conspiracies, etc. Anti-right to repair. Data collection. Non-open source software. Clickbait titles. The abundance of unskippable ads on videos. I 100% guarantee I will actively try to not buy your product if you're interrupting what little precious time I have to watch something. Corporations buying single-family homes and turning them into rentals. Posting your entire life on social media. Subscription services. Everything nowadays is being turned into a monthly bill. Pretty soon you're going to have to subscribe to keep your artificial organs functioning. Influencers and recording of people, animals in distress. Inflation seems to be trending upward rapidly. Those stupid fucking reaction videos where someone is pointing at another video and nodding their head or overemphasizing their facial expressions. It drives me nuts. How pathetic do you have to be?
What are some of the first signs a movie is going to suck? The backstory is introduced through an unrealistic and forced conversation where people who have known each other for years list facts about each other. Excessive use of nostalgia to keep the viewer engaged. When the 3 trailers they release before the movie comes out pretty much show most of / the best of the action. It has Jurassic World in its title. It says Marvel in the opening credits. If it's clearly putting representation before the actual quality.
What's a fact about space which will always blow your mind? There are many mind-boggling facts. My favorite one is always cold welding. Due to lack of oxygen, and in consequence lack of corrosion, you can put 2 pieces of metal together in the vacuum of space, and they will permanently connect, forming a single piece of metal almost instantly. The fact it's expanding, like nothingness, is literally getting bigger as we speak. My head can't wrap around it. Imagine our entire solar system is the size of a beach ball, and you put that beach ball on a beach on the US East Coast. The closest beach ball to us in the galaxy is on a beach in Portugal. We sent a probe out decades ago, and as far as we know, it has only just recently reached the edge of our own beach ball. That there is enough space between the Earth and our moon to fit in all the other planets. That we are either all alone, or not. Either one is equally scary. There are more stars in space than there are grains of sand on the Earth. It rains metal on Venus. Of all the weird myths out there, Bigfoot, Atlantis, psychic ability, etc., what seems the most plausible and why? Probably myths involving sea creatures. There's a lot of the ocean we haven't explored yet. Let's hope the Kraken isn't out there. Probably Naken. It is a Norwegian creature who appears in ponds and lures children close and drowns them. It was probably a serial killer back in the medieval times. I gotta go with aliens, honestly. However, I don't think it's little green, gray guys. I think they're just gonna be some sort of single-celled organism. Something super adaptable and durable, but also efficient. Simulation theory. The more math I study, the more I believe that this is just a tiny subset of the entirety of reality and probably isn't really real. Ghosts. They're really just looks into alternate realities in places where those barriers are thinner. You aren't seeing dead people, you're seeing through to another place. Those are all more real than Elder Scrolls 6 as far as I'm concerned. Girls, what are hints you give that guys never understand? I'm so glad the girlfriend who would become my wife was super good about hints. Like on our first date, when she wanted to let me know we should kiss, she said, "Can I kiss you?" And I instantly knew. I was on a date and we'd been waking through this forest walk by the river and it was quite romantic, so we were kissing. Eventually we stopped and got back to talking. I mentioned my really cute cat waiting at home and asked him if he'd like to meet Mo. He said yes, so we arrived back at my house and for the next half hour he sits on the floor playing with my cat. Eventually I had to tell him the cat was a ploy and I just really wanted to take him home. I can tell when a girl is flirting my BF, but he would always be oblivious to it at first no matter how many examples I gave him. My biggest worries as a guy are 1. Girls don't like guys like me, so I'm afraid to try my hand at romance. 2. It's not a hint, I just think it is, so if I try to act on it, I come off as a creep. I'm glad I read through these and realize I've never missed a hint because I've never had any.
What's the red flag behavior that makes you realize your mental health is going downhill? When I stop brushing and flossing my teeth. When I stop taking care of my body. Staying in bed all day and not feeling like doing anything else. When I'm really quick to cry or quick to anger. Unstable moods are my tip-off that I'm not coping well. Avoidance. When I'm real depressed, I avoid the hell out of everybody. I just don't want them to have to feel that radiating off me. Strangers, friends, lifelong friends, loved one. All the same when I'm depressed. Put me in a room alone with earplugs and darkness. It's how I work it out. I'm usually right in a couple days tops. If my mind's screaming despair, I give it despair. I get extra lazy and dissociative. Tired all the time for absolutely no reason. No real interest in anything that hasn't become a habit or life necessity. Hard to focus and be entertained. Just real spacey and checked out all the time. Sink full of dishes. When I don't talk much, or go out of my way to be nice. I get really detached from reality. Reading all of these make me feel sad. I do all of these. What things do you always refuse to spend money on? Subscriptions for heated seats. Google it. BMW is going to start charging for heated seats and steering wheels. Lol. Video game skins. Some people spend $20 to paint their gun some colors, flags, or to have a special hat in their FPS avatar. Tipping clearly rich Twitch streamers. Paying money for extra stuff in mobile games. I rather play for months to get ahead than pay for the advancements. Pay-per-view events. Motorcycle oil changes. Glorified JPEGs, aka NFTs. Fake nails. Anything I can do myself. Starbucks.
How's the new McDonald's in Russia? Is it the same food with a different name? Or is bigger and better than before? Used to use the original as a free toilet. Hope the tradition will survive. Okay, I have tried that just now. That is the same old McDonald's, but with less salt and higher prices. The tomatoes are cheaper too. Also, fun fact. It was named as Tasty, period. It also can be turned into Taste of an A. I'd read a few weeks ago that they were going to call it Uncle Vanya's. I wonder why they didn't go with that.
Hello everyone. I am curious to know. What's your salary per year and what do you do? Salary per year? I count cows for the government, roughly 65K. I'm a teacher and I make about $60,000 a year. It's not counting cows, but I love it. I'm a fine dining server in a very expensive, very popular steakhouse. I make $140,000 to $150,000 a year. Have my own business, earn around £3,000 even though we turn over £700,000. I pay my team well so I get more time for myself. The less time I work, the more time I get to spend with my boy. That's worth more than money in my eyes. I manage crappy, mid-tier hotels that the megacorporation who owns them won't put any money into fixing. I make $95,000. I'm a woman and my male counterpart makes six figures. Just found out. Quitting next week. Negative $50,000 per year as a med student lol. I'm assured I'll break even before I turn 40, but I've been broke forever. Vaughn Trader, 160K 2 years out of college.
What modern trend do you absolutely hate? News agencies writing articles about, all these people are saying X, when it's just a few random people on Twitter, and generally the trend of amplifying fringe theories, beliefs, conspiracies, etc. Anti-right to repair. Data collection. Non-open source software. Clickbait titles. The abundance of unskippable ads on videos. I 100% guarantee I will actively try to not buy your product if you're interrupting what little precious time I have to watch something. Corporations buying single-family homes and turning them into rentals. Posting your entire life on social media. Subscription services. Everything nowadays is being turned into a monthly bill. Pretty soon you're going to have to subscribe to keep your artificial organs functioning. Influencers and recording of people, animals in distress. Inflation seems to be trending upward rapidly. Those stupid fucking reaction videos where someone is pointing at another video and nodding their head or overemphasizing their facial expressions. It drives me nuts. How pathetic do you have to be? What food do most people think is healthy but is actually unhealthy? Naked smoothies or juices and flavored yogurt. Some people think gluten-free means healthy. Not automatically, it doesn't. This is not about people who must follow a gluten-free diet. Juice. Most packaged juices you get are super high in sugar. I'm shocked how many moms think Nutella is better than peanut butter. Anything natural doesn't immediately mean healthy. At least in the EU, when a product is natural, it doesn't need to go through all the testing that is required for other products. This doesn't mean that the product is safe, as many natural products can be harmful. Granola bars. They're chocolate, oats and sugar for the most part. Cereal. Anything labeled fat-free. Crazy how many people think fat is bad for you. Salads with all of the dressings and toppings. Ketchup. Yeah, I get it comes from tomatoes, which are healthy, but ketchup is packed with sugar. Diet or zero-calorie sodas. Dear men, what are your thoughts about a woman who is straightforward with her strong desires towards you? There is nothing more relieving than being with a lady who tells you exactly how she feels and what she wants. It's so important, and it is so tiring being with a guy that doesn't. You just have to keep pushing them and try to make them tell you how they feel so you can understand. Please, talk to us about your feelings. If we are together and we love you, we just want to help you. I appreciate those women. I don't like having to guess. Suspicious at first, then enthused. At first you had my attention, now you have my curiosity. Never encountered this mythical unicorn you speak of. Would be amazing. I'm okay with it if she's attractive. Otherwise it will probably feel like harassment. If it's the lady in the subway, I wish she would stop. What's the catch? I'm about to get mugged. I'm married to such a woman. And let me tell you, there is nothing better than someone saying, let's skip dessert and go have fun in the backseat of the van. Like, what's the worst thing you've done in the heat of the moment? My parents were tailors and they used to do a lot of work from home. They had really big, heavy metal scissors they used to use. I was very young. Under 10 for sure. My older brother did something to piss me off. I grabbed the scissor near me and threw it at him. It missed his eyes by a small fraction. He went ballistic on why would I do something like this. 25 plus years later, the memory still makes me sad how close I was to seriously injuring or killing my brother. I was being lightly scolded by my boss, and instead of rolling with it, I got pissed and told him, you know what, suck my dick, and left. I was not in a financial situation to quit at the time, and regretted my decision the entire elevator ride out of there. But looking back now, it's easy to say, worth it. When I was in 10th grade, a classmate of mine pissed on my shoes. I didn't not snap right then and there, but he made fun of my looks a couple minutes later. I completely lost my shit, grabbed him by the neck and slammed his head into a steel beam. In hindsight, I realized that I could have killed him or disabled him for life, but luckily he got away with a bad concussion. Told the judge, gimme your best shot. 10 added days for contempt of court.
I turned 20 today. How much longer until my switch flips and the world starts making sense and I know what to do with my life? Should we tell him? No. Don't ruin it for him. The world only makes sense when you stop trying to make sense of it. The 3 phases of life. Birth. What the freak is all this? Death. LOL, you think world starts making sense.
What do you still do that you did as a child? Refuse to dangle my foot over the bed at night. Just in case the monsters under the bed get me. When I get up late at night cause I'm thirsty sometimes, I still tiptoe and move very slowly so I can avoid making the wood floor creak. I know all the spots. I live alone. When I was little I was afraid of choking on pills, so my mom told me to take a sip of water before as to lubricate my throat, take the pill and wash it down with more water. 12 years later and I still can't take a pill without doing this. Eat a bowl of cereal while watching cartoons. Drink an unholy amount of milk. Stress my mom out. Or get stressed out by mom. Play video games. Not stepping on the lines of the sidewalk. Nap. God, I love me a nap. Sleep with a stuffed toy.